Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Blaze podcast. Ed Kimberley and Stu Coles from Blaze TV as always. And our guest on this edition is defenseman Joey Raats. Joey, hey man, good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's actually been a very, very long time since I've spoke to Joey because we met at Blaze Golf Day. And I think you'd only been here something like a couple of days at that point. So trying to figure it out. And because of the whole COVID thing, Stu hadn't met you before, and this is kind of strange. So it's nice to catch up. Nice to introduce you guys.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Stu. And that golf day was tough for our team, but the group that I was with, we ended up losing, but it was still a good day overall.
But let's talk about you. Let's talk about you, man. That's the whole point of this whole thing, is to have you here. So when we spoke at Golf Day, so you live in Arizona right now, but doing a research on you and stuff. You're from Vegas, right? Were you born in Vegas?
Yeah, I was born and raised Las Vegas, Scottsdale. I spent time from when I was born to 12 years old in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I got this incredible opportunity to move out to Arizona. I actually was flying back and forth every Thursday to play for Claude Lemieux. He had a hockey team where his son played on, as well as Austin Matthews and a few other NHL Hall of Famers. So I was fortunate to stay with Claude Lemieux in their house. And then I ended up going to Scottsdale Christian Academy with Matthews and Lemieux and a few other guys, and it was a great experience. My parents ended up my dad actually, he had a title and escrow company in Las Vegas, and so he brought it over to Arizona. They moved over there. We lived in the desert, essentially off Dynamite and Pima in North Scottsdale. And and ever since I moved there when I was younger, I just fell in love with the place. My girlfriend and I, we actually just renovated our condo this past summer, and we love it. We always go back. It's super hot in the summers, but we also have a summer place in Montana that we like to kind of split it up. Yeah.
Wow, nice. And a completely different change of scenery for you junior hockey, because you played in Alberta between Lethbridge and Drumheller, right? And that's a whole different kettle of fish. How did the opportunity to go out there come about?
So during the 08-09 crisis, with the real estate market, the title and escrow business, my dad's business actually went under. So they ended up moving back to Las Vegas from Arizona, and I ended up going up to Canada, Alberta, where my whole family's from. That's how I'm a dual citizen. Gotcha. So everyone in my family's from Canada, other than me, my brother, my sister. We're all born in Las Vegas. So I moved up to Lethbridge, Alberta. I stayed with my aunt and uncle for a bit, and then ended up staying with a few billet families. Got an opportunity to play in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. I was affiliated with the Brooks Bandits my first year when I was 15, and then ended up playing with the Drumheller Dragons. Had an awesome experience there. I think I developed the most as a player there in Drumheller. That my head coach was Brian Curran. He was a first rounder in the NHL back in the day. He was a fighter, but he definitely taught me how to like round my game as a defenseman and just like my smarts on the backside of the end.
Yeah, cool. And I don't know a lot about the Alberta Junior League. What's the standard like at the minute, or when you were there anyway, I guess?
Yeah, it's a good league. They actually get a lot of NCAA Division I commits, not as much as the USHL, but it's great experience. We bus. I think the furthest bus drive was 16 hours, which is a lot more than it is here in the EIHL, but it was a great experience. There's a lot of good hockey players in Canada. Everyone plays hockey. There's a ton of rinks in every city, so it's hard for there not to be a good hockey league, and I think it just keeps getting better every year. So
yeah, oh, cool. I that was about the limit of my knowledge, was that it kind of fed into the NCAA, but aside from that, I kind of draw a blank. But I do know a little bit about the USHL. You went and switched to play for Sioux Falls for a little bit, and some familiar faces there. You play with Ike, Chris Polkamp was with us for the mini series, and then last year, and then didn't Alec Marsh play on that team too?
Yes, he did. It was that was probably one of the best years of my life, playing with the Sioux Falls Stampede. We just had a group. We were a bunch of misfits. We came together, and I'm glad I get to play with those guys here in Coventry. Alec Marsh and Dylan Ike said, I wish Camper was still here. But we came so well together, and we ended up winning the Clark Cup championship that year. So it'll definitely be a year that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, yeah. What was that run like to lift the Clark Cup? What was that like?
It was truly amazing. Like we were the last place team going to the playoffs. There were so many big NHLers like Kyle Connor and these guys that played on teams that were just way better than our team. And we just had the most fun time with it. Like we just looked forward to coming to the rink every day.
Nice.
And even after a loss, like our group of guys, we had that chemistry there, and things just worked out with us. There's some of the guys that are in the NHL right now that were on our team. Kiefer Bellows, he's with the Islanders. Dakota Joshua, he's with the St. Louis Blues. Logan O'Connor, he's with Colorado Avalanche. Plenty of names that just stood up from that year. And I mean, like I said, it was just a year I'll never forget.
The reason I ask is like what it was like, because each run's different, isn't it? Because sometimes you're involved in a team that are, the sure thing to win it, and it's a lot of fun to just go and win every game. But to almost be the underdogs, that makes it even more special, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a few occasions like we definitely didn't know how we won, but we did. There's this one incident. We were actually playing the Tri-City Storm. I believe it was in the second round, or it was in the third round, and their team was stacked. They completely outshot us, like 45 to 15 shots the first game. Second game, we head over to in Tri-City, and the rink guy drilled through a pipe on the ice. It completely flooded it. And we had like all of our top guys were like going through minor injuries. Dakota Joshua, he was having a few problems. And so it just allowed us to have a few days rest to get ready for the next game. They actually moved that game to Sioux Falls. We ended up winning that one, and then we went back to Tri-City and won another one to go to the finals.
Because the 14-15 season, I think that was the year you were there.
Yeah.
That was almost like when the USHL kind of exploded, because there were so many guys in that league. Boza was in the league then. Connor was in the league. Austin Matthews was in the league. So did you kind of feel that it was kind of special, like all around when you were there? And looking back on it, is that something you're kind of cognizant of?
I mean, to me personally, I think that's by far the most special year that I've ever had playing hockey. But yeah, I think the USHL is growing every year. There are so many draft picks that came out of that season specifically. But I think overall, as a tier 1 junior A hockey league, I think the USHL is by far the best place to play if you want to go get an NCAA degree.
And that's the route that you took. And I mean, it's in the notes here about, okay, well, why did you commit to Arizona State? But you've already given us the answer, right? You just fell in love with the place.
Yeah.
Did you know much about the university before you committed there, or was it just that's where I'm going?
I honestly did not know much at all. I knew they had a top high-end business school. I actually got my degree in finance.
Cool.
But so I was talking to a few schools at the time, and Arizona State, they gave me an official visit. So they flew me down there, drove me on a golf cart around the school, and it was just after like seeing the weather and just being around the people and the students, I just fell in love with it right away. I had good feelings about the coach and the atmosphere, just like everything just felt right to me at the time. And I didn't even go look at any other school. I committed like 2 weeks after because I fell in love with the place.
Nice. And while you were there, correct me if I'm wrong, it went from being an independent, so it wasn't affiliated with Hockey East or whatever.
Right.
But then it fell into a division while you were there. So what was that like? That must have been an interesting change of pace and an interesting change in hockey too.
Yeah, there's a few complications with it, but being independent, it was good for us it was good for the players because we could travel to a bunch of different divisions rather than just staying in your NCHC Big Ten. So I got to experience a lot more than most players would have if they were specifically in one division, which was nice. It was also nice going to let's say you're going to Boston and it's snowing. Maybe you go 1-1, but you come back and the sun's out in Arizona. You can go to the pool before class, go work out, and then just get back after it. But overall, it was a great experience.
I literally, from going to university in the UK, cannot fathom going to the pool before class. Like that just that just isn't a thing where I went to uni.
Yeah.
But no, that sounds awesome. And was it strange in Arizona State because it's more of a basketball and football school, right? What was the hockey?
Yeah. So we weren't the top by any means, but we definitely, I think they definitely have a good image now. A lot of people know who the hockey players are on campus, even though it's the largest university in all of the US. We've built a good image for ourselves, and the program has been doing everything the right way. So I think in the next few years, they have a great chance at winning everything there. And yeah, I mean, football, they definitely have all the money. And basketball, I know they're struggling this year, but they usually have a good team that at least makes it to the March Madness every year.
And turning pro, you played in Utah again. Huge different change of pace, right up in the mountains. There, the Grizzlies are in Salt Lake City, right?
Yeah, they're actually in West Valley City,
okay.
Which is it's 15 minutes outside, but it's like we would take the train downtown Salt Lake all the time.
What a beautiful place to play hockey, man! What was that like?
It was awesome. We had great fans. The 2002 Olympics were actually there. That's when Canada won. So we, like, you can still see there's a room. They use it as their storage facility, but there's a room that has signatures of all of Team Canada's hockey team. But the locker room there, it was great. We had a sauna, hot tub, steam room. It just is very spacious, and the guys are great. It was another great year of hockey. Being in the mountains was awesome. Like, I love living in Montana and snowboarding and just doing all those winter sports. So it was nice to go up to Park City and snowboard, go up to those little pubs and just enjoy our time in the mountains.
Nice, because I was going to say, depending where you go and play in the coast, right? So when Augusta was in the league, I don't think they are anymore, right? The Lynx, they folded ages ago, but people could get on the courses in and around the Masters, which is nuts. But like, if you're based up in the mountains, you got to go skiing and snowboarding, right? That just seems
yeah. You gotta go at least once. It's definitely an experience that you won't forget, and you definitely have to do it at least once.
What was your experience of playing in the coast, right? Because that it can be a bit of a grind.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of teams that it is hard to come by, and because you would bus, and especially in Rapid City, they bus everywhere. But I think they're starting to fly a little bit more now. Utah, we were fortunate to fly everywhere other than Boise, which was only 5.5, 6 hours away. But other than that, travel schedule was good. Practices were short, and like, if just be a professional athlete, and yeah, everything worked out well for me.
You moved quite quickly to Europe, though. You played in France between Briançon and Gap before Corona and lockdown.
Yeah.
How can you move to Europe so soon? Because a lot of guys try and stick it in the coast for a while, maybe turn vet, and then look to overseas.
Yeah. So my ultimate dream was always to play professional hockey in Europe. I actually, so playing in Europe was awesome. France was great. It was a culture shock for sure. It's a lot different than the US business wise and the way they do things, but it was great. It was nice to be able to experience the Alps, and I also was able to snowboard up there as well. They have Sierra Chevrolet, Montgenèvre. We ended up going to Switzerland, Zermatt, Switzerland after the season when I was with Gap. And I don't know, it's different. They have a tough schedule that we bus everywhere, so it's 16 to 18 hours some places to drive to, and then you're driving through the Alps, so it's kind of tough to sleep at times. But I think overall I'm grateful for being able to play over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The playing schedule's a little lighter though, isn't it? You know, the regular season's not like 82 games. So that must be better on the old body there, because you know, by the time you've had your second year pro, you played all of junior, you played junior A, you've gone to college, you played a year in the coast. It must be nice to have a slight change of pace.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've had a few injuries in the past. I've actually broken 13 bones. Not all from hockey, but just like it's been tough at times. And having a shorter season definitely helps you just recover and be ready so you're not getting injured. But yeah, the shorter season, I was fortunate to be able to travel to Italy and Switzerland and just go around a few places and experience Europe. That's pretty much a major reason why people come and play over in Europe.
Yeah. Because life after hockey, man, you got to enjoy these things while you can, right?
Exactly.
Stu, I've talked for ages. I'll let you take over, mate.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, change of pace. It was pretty much a change of pace after you finished in France because the pandemic hit, and then there's almost like there's no hockey then. So, like, what did you do during the pandemic? How did you spend your time?
So France, the way that they do business over there is it was a lot slower pace. And my family, my dad's, he's an entrepreneur, and me and my brother, we started our own home renovations landscaping business up in Montana. So during that time, everything was kind of slow, but we were still able to find good clients, and we still have that business today. My brother still runs it. But I mean, we enjoy our time running the business, and I don't know, like we also import trucks from Canada, and we find these older diesel trucks, and we'll sell them in the US because there's such a high supply with like the oil rigs up in Alberta. So they're valued a lot more down in the US, and it's just a little small niche that we had.
Finding ways to keep yourself occupied and make a bit of money before hockey comes back round again.
Yeah.
And it was, you were the Blazers' penultimate signing coming into the season in terms of announcements. Did you know much about Coventry beforehand? Did you speak to like Eichstad and some of the other guys to talk about the team?
So I actually did not talk to them at all. Camper actually reached out to me a few years ago. He asked me about the coast and how I liked it, but I talked to him a little bit, and he said he loved Coventry. I know Eichstad and Marshy, they're such good people that I knew that it'd probably be a good place to be. And I've heard a lot of good things from other people as well, but I did not do too much due diligence on my part coming in. I just knew it'd be a good spot.
That's actually quite rare because the hockey community is so tight. Like a lot of people, like everybody knows everyone. You've got, you know, friends on other teams, and like it's quite that close-knit society, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think hockey's a small world for sure. Everyone knows everyone. I don't think it's like basketball, football. I think we definitely have a little bit tighter, close-knit relationships.
And now you're here, you know, a few months into the season. How have you found the hockey in the Elite League?
It's great. I love it. I think compared to the France League and the ECHL, I think it has so much potential. There's a lot of great players that are coming into this league, a lot of NHL draft picks, and I think it's a great league to get going in Europe, and I'm excited to be here. I think everything's been awesome so far.
And your role on the team, you're kind of settled into a sort of fairly steady defenseman type role. Is that kind of how you see your own style of play?
Yeah. So along with my injuries growing up, I was more of a two-way offensive defenseman, but I've developed this role throughout my my last years of college and going to pro to just be more of a steady defenseman, good first pass, and moving up with the play, trying to break the other team's system up, and just getting the puck, like getting a good flow to the game and supporting our other players that can put the puck in the net.
And you've been seeing, you know, a fair few minutes on the ice, and probably more so in recent weeks with injuries, suspensions, you know, a lot going on in the team. How's that been tough for you and the rest of the guys?
I mean, the games that we've had the most injuries, we've actually performed really well together. it really just it's not too hard of a game. Even if we're losing a few guys, you just come ready to play every night. Just being a professional athlete and making smart, consistent plays is what it comes down to. But I mean, it's unfortunate for guys that keep getting injured, like Thompson, and we're definitely going to miss him. But I think we'll progress as the year goes on, and we're going to come together strong.
Do you think that kind of adversity where you are down a few guys in the middle of a game, do you think that sort of brings together the bond as a team to sort of make you fight together?
Oh, definitely. I think that's like, it's hard to say, but that's what brings teams together, and that's what makes championship teams. Things, injuries, and that adversity definitely helps us grow and win games, finding a way to win games.
It's obviously difficult from our perspective from the outside to sort of really understand what's going on, behind the curtain, as it were. But from our perspective, it certainly looks like it's a good group of guys. You all get on really well, socialize together. I saw a picture earlier today of you guys enjoying breakfast together. Yeah. Is it a good group of players to be around?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Most of these guys, they've been together already in the 2019 season. So those guys already have a close-knit relationship, and everyone else is fitting in quite well. Our coach, Stewie, he's an awesome coach, great players coach, and he's done his due diligence on all the players, and he's reached out to my previous coaches and my previous agents, and I'm sure he's done that for everyone. So he likes to find the right guys to win a championship, and I think everything that he did has been phenomenal so far. We're gonna find a way to get things moving good here, and then we'll get going on the road.
Speaking of winning championships and trophies, one of those things coming round the corner, or already arrived really, is the Challenge Cup. It's a little bit of a different competition to something that you're probably used to, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I have never played like an aggregate game. I know that's what they do here. I don't know. I've never heard of that before, other than in football. But it's interesting, and I think it's awesome that we have a chance to win 3 trophies in this league. It's just gives you another chance, or gives you a chance to win all 3 of them, which is an incredible opportunity to have. Yeah, and playing Belfast, I think this year, like, we can easily, like, we can perform well against the top teams of the league, and that's why I think that when it comes down to winning these championships, we have a great chance at competing with anyone.
And it's probably an unfair question given that your lack of history in the competition, but how important do you think it is taking that 1-goal lead all over to Belfast for the next leg?
I think it's great. I mean, for them to be, I believe they finished first, and so for us to come up in the first game, that's huge. I knew we needed to win the first game at home, because I've never played in Belfast, but I've heard it's a tough place to play. So being up 1 goal is definitely huge for us, and it just gives us a little bit of momentum going into Belfast.
Looking at the fixture list, it's certainly a rink that you're going to get more familiar with in January, and I think it's all 4 games coming up relatively in short order. But I mean, even before that, and the Elite League is nice in that way that you do have lots of competitions going on. You've got the league run as well, and Christmas is always a busy time, no matter what league you're in, where you play. I mean, how crucial is that sort of Christmas run going to be for the Blaze to sort of progress in the league?
Yeah, I think once you get in that flow of just making sure that we stay healthy, and we're going to the gym and just doing the little things right. I think those games will come by quite fast and easier than it sounds, but we do have a pretty strong schedule coming up, and we'll be fine. I think we can perform well.
Well, best of luck for those games coming up over Christmas. They do come in short order, but like you say, the team are well prepared and ready to go.
Yeah, we'll get that flow, we'll get the mojo going, and we'll be fine.
No, for sure. What's just a quick question before we kind of wrap things up here, Joe? What are other leagues' schedules like in and around Christmas, like in the coast in France? Is it as busy as in the elite league? Because like every year, I mean, we've been doing this a while now. Every year, like Christmas, they just seem to pack them in.
Yeah, I think it's more of a it's good for the fans. Like the fans want to come out and watch hockey around the holidays. So every league likes to have their games around Christmas. It's a way to make money. And like in France, same thing. We had about a day off, or maybe 2 days off. But our games were right after Christmas, or sometimes on the day of Christmas.
Fair enough. Kind of makes sense. You got lots of people off work.
Yeah, they want to get out and support the hometown team. And it's I don't mind it. Sometimes I wish that we would have a longer break, or maybe another break in the year, but I mean, in the end, it's still a good time. I love playing the game, and it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's been really good having you on here, Joey. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you're having a good time over here, bud. And how you're talking about the group is just oozing out. That we've got a really good unit here, and that just put a smile on my face. I like that, because
Yeah.
we haven't had as much of a chance to really see you guys as we do usually. So that's really it's made my evening, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I mean, hopefully COVID kind of rolls over here, and you guys can see us more often, but everything's been great. And thanks again.